This is Red Witch.
But hey, it's Red Witch Johnny. Or you want to say this is Red Witch Johnny? We'll do that. Okay, we'll say this is Red Witch Johnny, and you're listening to Doom Tomb. Ready? 1, 2, 3. This is Red Witch Johnny, and you're listening to Doom Tomb.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, sludge, and a little psych thrown in every once in a while. My name is Chris. I am your host, and you just heard from Red Witch Johnny. Well, I don't know if you know this. They had a release a little ways back called Tales of the Electric Mistress. Now, Glory or Death Records has put out several different color variants. So if you have not gotten a chance to pick up their stuff yet, let's get it on vinyl. Why not, you know? Head over to Glory or Death Records and pick up your copy. Speaking of other copies, this band that we got coming up, they put out their latest release, and it is almost sold out. Go over to Bandcamp if you get the chance to check him out and pick up this copy. It is a phenomenal release. Really heavy, thick, fuzzy sound. Now, before we get into the interview, a few quick things. The audio in the first 10 minutes or so is a little spotty. We were trying to get it figured out, and I think we did, and some of the stuff kind of cuts in and out, but you'll get the gist of the questions and answers. Also, don't forget, craniumradio.com, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, each and every Sunday. I have the show, The Doom Tomb, where it's mostly music. Every once in a while we'll chat, but it's mostly all stoner, doom, sludge, psych, garage, indie, you know, all kinds of stuff thrown in. But the heavy stuff, you know, the fuzzy, fuzzed out stuff. Also, if you need to reach out to us, it's doomtombpodcast@gmail.com. If you don't do email, reach out to us on social media. And that is Doom Tomb Podcast. And if you don't have social media, well, I don't know, pigeon, carrier pigeon, send it that way, a smoke signal. I have no idea. I don't know how else to reach me. My phone number is out there. And you know what's funny? I've had my phone number out there for years now, and I've never gotten a text or a call. It's like nobody even knows it's there. Really weird stuff. Either way, if you can find it, send me a text and say that you're listening. Thank you so much for that. And now we are about to get into the interview. These are the guys in Old Horntooth. I have been waiting to talk to these guys for such a long time. They had a release that came out quite a while ago, and I actually have all of them here. The release is from the Ghost Gray Depths, and the band is Old Horntooth. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, you good?
Awesome. We're getting through it every way we know how. You know, it's. We were talking offline, and it says that you guys are pretty much doing okay. Things are going to be opening up soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a lot of uncertainty, but yeah, sort of later this month, everything's going to be opening up. I think jury's out for me whether that's a good idea or not, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on. I mean, as you can tell, you know, I'm calling you from Arizona. We're in a hot spot right now. And I could never have imagined this. But either way, we're not really here to talk about that. We're here to talk about some music, talk about some better things. And you know what? Okay, so let's put it into a perspective here. What is it about, like 1:30 over there, something like that?
Yeah, exactly that.
Spot on. Yeah, spot on.
Okay, right about now, I'm looking, it is 5:39 in the morning. That's why my voice sounds like shit. And I have a cup of Death Wish coffee. What are the beverages that you are drinking today, sir?
Well, I'm having a Bloody Mary, which is tomato juice and vodka, because we had a bit of a party last night. I'm nursing a hangover, so it's actually quite nice. One of my 5 a day, but that's what I'm having right now.
Now, with this Bloody Mary, do you put in hot sauce? Do you put in Worcestershire?
Yeah, we got Tabasco in this one.
Very good.
And then some celery and a bit of horseradish.
Oh, nice.
So it's doing the job. So yeah.
Thank you. And Chris, what do you got?
A little drop of black spiced rum there with a bit of lime.
Oh, nice. Is it Kraken or is it some other brand?
Indeed, it is a bit of Kraken. Yeah, you're right. Damn good rum.
I can tell by the color, sir. Okay. So I just want to kick off with the question that the last band wanted me to ask you. And that band was Year of October. And the question is, where do you get inspiration that is not from music to create your music?
I guess it's quite cliche to say, but like the environment, what's going on, I guess you take it from what's going on at the moment, for me anyway. So how you're feeling, like where you've been, what you're up to, where you're going to go. I guess that's from my side of things. That's where I would get inspiration from, outside of kind of music. Yeah.
And Chris, Mark?
So I suppose lyrically, when I'm thinking about writing lyrics, a lot of the time it comes from like situations I'm in at the moment. So a lot of the lyrics from the Ghost Grey Depths came from like bad relationships. They came from really shitty work situations. And what I did with them is I took those situations and just turned them into something a little bit more sort of supposed supernatural. So one of the lyrics about an old boss that I had at work, she turned into the old hag that was rising from the sea and on the rivers and that. So it's kind of old school, old like crazy situations that puts me in that turn into something a little bit more demonic, as it were.
I gotcha. And Mark?
Difficult to say. I guess kind of real life stuff. I think for me, like, I sort of do counselling and psychotherapy as a bit of a career, and you get to hear about a lot of madness and a lot of sort of the human condition and how we try and survive in a bit of an odd world.
Right.
So I suppose a bit of kind of psychology and a bit of sort of trying to understand the human condition is probably a big thing for me.
I gotcha. Now, by the way, if you have a question to ask the next band, I would appreciate it. And we don't have to get to it now. Maybe we'll get to it later at the end. If I forget, I apologize, but it's kind of in the back of my head. Now, first off, who is the Slint fan here?
That'd be me.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark, by the way, for turning me on to a band that I did not know of before. And I really appreciate that. So now I'm going down the rabbit hole, and you know, as I looked on social media, not only is it stuff that you guys are listening to, but it's also places or people that you have played with. Is it Morass of Molasses? Is that how you pronounce it? I mean, Slump, Crimson Tusk, Nunchucker, Surya the Grey, Saltbuck. Oh my God, dude!
Yeah, great band.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Even Everest Queen, The Grey, Boarhand, Grey Brain, Son of Boar, Aerosol, Jesus. I mean, you guys have been playing with some killer bands, but the one show that really sticks in my head as I'm looking at the lineups that you've played with was this one show you had. It was Boarhead, it was you guys, Old Horntooth, and the Red Widows. What kind of fucking show must that have been? Was the foundation of the place that you were in okay afterward?
It was like the tiniest pub as well. So a lot of the venues we would play kind of, they have like bars and stuff next to them, and it was tiny, and it was so loud. So who knows? If we probably did some damage for sure, because it was loud.
I don't know, man. I hope they had plaster on the side, just waiting, just in case something started cracking, because between the sound that you guys are creating and the sound the Red Widows have and the sound of Boarhead, I mean, it's that it just meant it must have been a sick time.
Yeah, it was a good little show, that one. Yeah, it was really enjoyable to play. Both of those bands are wicked live as well, so it was good fun, that one.
Now, do you guys talk to Red Widows a lot or no?
Yeah, well, Mark played in them for a bit, right? I remember you filled in on drums for a show.
They had a gig last September. I don't know if you heard it. The last one, it was called Doom versus Stoner Festival that happened in the Midlands in England.
Right.
And Red Widow's been asked to play that. But I think they just lost the drummer and they've got a new guy replacing him. But he couldn't make that one show, so I stepped in. I didn't really know them all that well beforehand, but, since the lockdown, haven't sort of seen or spoken to them too much. But yeah, I mean, we used to bump into each other at gigs, and yeah, they sort of get involved with the Doom Collective, the London Doom Collective. So yeah, sort of through the music, I've got to know them.
I was just curious because I saw online the Rev. I just ordered the Fuzz of Fiction not too long ago. I ordered their EP. And I saw that he was taking a break for a while, so I didn't know if the band was up in the air or if they were still going to be continuing.
Yeah, I saw that. I think my understanding of it that they're taking a break from it, and then I think they're going to try and continue next year, kind of time.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a product of the current environment, and it just wants a little break and just to sort of take stock of things and then get back to it when they can. Yeah. I think they've got shows booked at the early part of next year, so they're just going to have a little break now and then go back to it then.
Is that how you guys feel? Do you have anything planned yet for playing outside yet, or you still taking it easy on that?
Yeah. I guess we're talking about a few things that we want to try and do. It's all very dependent on what the venues can do, because a lot of the places, especially in London, well, as you should imagine everywhere around the world, the venues haven't really been addressed, and the music scene really hasn't been addressed by what they can do and what they can't do. So like pubs and nail bars and hairdressers, they've all kind of been given some guidelines, but the venues haven't. So we've got a few ideas, but it just depends on what we're allowed to do. Do you know what I mean? And there's a couple of gigs that haven't been cancelled yet, later in the year. Some really like 2 shows that we're really looking forward to, that haven't, not been cancelled. They're still going ahead at the moment.
I got
currently, yeah.
Currently, which is cool because we were just kind of getting the ball rolling in terms of playing live more and getting a bit more, weight behind the shows that we were getting on.
Absolutely.
And then that kind of just stopped instantly, which is annoying. So we've had some momentum, and there's a lot of other bands that we know that were getting the momentum going, and then it kind of just stopped instantly, which kind of sucks. Yeah,
well, you had a bit of a little resurgence because you had the release come out, and damn, that sounds good. And you had, with now you've got the album out and the actual LP, and now even that I'm looking on the site right now, and you don't have too many left, my friend. That was a good release, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, go no. I think I kind of joined the band late, like after Chris and Mark had worked on the song, so they're probably, we should all be really proud of it. It wasn't what we expected, and not in a bad way. If that makes sense.
Considering that originally when we went to record it, it was supposed to be a demo, but the way it came out, we just had to release it. So
yeah,
I mean, shit. If that's the sound of your demo, it's perfect. It sounds amazing, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you about this. And you know what? It kind of brings me up to this next question because I saw that since we're in this condition that we're in right now, you had some time to redo the band space, maybe to get ready to record something else. I don't know. So what was going on? So were you just making? I think it was Mark that was making that, right?
Mark and Chris,
Mark's the foreman. Mark's the guy.
I just stood around listening to tunes, so it was totally fine.
So is it all done now, and everything's all tidied up?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we have a shared rehearsal space with a bunch of other bands, Saltbox being one of them.
Oh,
we share
really?
the rehearsal room with them. But just before the lockdown, it used to be administered by a different band, but they, lockdown came on. They decided that they weren't going to continue on with the space. So yeah, I took over the contract, and we just thought, we've got a little bit of time. Let's just make this a really cool place to go and make some music in. So yeah, we sort of tidied it all up, just built some shelves. We've never recorded in there before, but right. I'd quite like to try it out. Yeah, we've got it to a space now. We've built some nice shelving to keep all the amps and stuff like that.
Right on.
Tidy. Put a new PA in. Hopefully we can sort of get a bunch of mics, a bunch of stuff like that together, and start knocking some good stuff out.
That'd be awesome. Now, what I'm going to do just quickly, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will continue this in just a minute.
Yeah, hey, what's up, big dogs? This is Mucho Drums here to tell you a little bit about my new company, Mucho Printing. Now, I've played in multiple bands for several years, and I know how important it is to leave your mark after any show. Even before hitting that first note, you want the crowd to know who you are and remember who's responsible for the sore necks the next morning. Presentation is an important factor in any band's mission to the top, and that's where we come in. Fully printed backdrops, removable bass drum covers, mesh cab covers, flags. These are just a few products that we can offer to you. We're based out of Los Angeles, California, and can ship anywhere in the United States. More importantly, our goal is to help promote bands off the stage as well. With every order, we'll post pictures of the prints, along with info about the band and any other advertisements you'd like us to include. Please check us out on Instagram and Facebook by searching Mucho Printing. Send us a message for any details. Hope all of you are staying safe, strong, and powerful out there. And remember, you win some, you lose some, but nothing beats getting some. Cheers, my friends.
All right, just had to take that quick break, get a little things figured out here so we can hear everybody properly, or should I just say proper? I don't even know. I don't know what
works.
Okay.
Properly, yeah.
All right. So, what can you guys tell me? Like, what is the London Doom Collective, and how did you become a part of that?
Yeah, I guess we could all answer that. I think between the three of us, okay, I'll start. So basically, we kind of came up with the idea just from chatting at rehearsals and stuff. Chris, I don't know if you want to fill in more because it was kind of a bit more.
Well, the way that we saw it was we played with some amazing bands in London, like you said earlier on. We played with some wicked bands, and there's a few promoters in London who are don't get me wrong, they're amazing promoters and they're really, really cool guys, and they put on some amazing shows. But often, as a new band, it's quite tricky to get involved with those sort of bigger promoters, right, who are bringing over the international bands and things like that. So we kind of thought it might be cool to get a group of the bands that we really like, sort of our peers in the underground scene, together, and make a little group of people together so we could actually put on shows ourselves. So it's kind of a more DIY thing where we just sort of put a load of cool bands on. We bring down the first one we did, we brought down a band from a little bit outside of London, played 3 London bands, and those guys, so we brought the Grey down from Cambridge. And that's kind of how it was born, really. It was just a necessity of trying to put some really cool shows on and make people aware of how many cool bands are actually out in the UK underground at the moment. So
it's an awesome idea. We've thought about doing that in Arizona. We had a festival out here to start it, and there's something about getting that community together because, this is, I still think it's on the fringe. It's underground music, and it has to be getting to the masses somehow. And if everybody else is going to sit on it, well, this is where we come in, and we stand up and we do what we got to do, straight up. And thank you for that. And oh my God, the lineup on there! I would say, gosh, half the bands on there were some of the bands that I talked to you about in the beginning. This is a huge undertaking, and you have a track on there, and there's 32 tracks, 4 pounds. That is a pound sign, I'm guessing? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that. And it's called Voices from the Void by the London Doom Collective. You can pick that up on Bandcamp. Now, onto these more pressing issues. Ollie, I have a question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
How many pairs of Lemmy style shorts do you own?
Okay, just those ones. I guess that's the problem with the internet, right? Yeah, just those ones.
Okay.
I had an old pair of jeans. My girlfriend always says if you're going to wear shorts, you need to wear proper shorts. And they're proper shorts because to the knee, cut off jeans to the knee, but apparently they're proper shorts. I'm going to try. I'm trying to keep hold of them. They're going to be my only proper shorts that I have.
There's the old saying was, Ollie, I knew you were crazy, but when you wear those shorts, I could clearly see your nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
So
nice.
In watching in seeing some stuff that you did on social media, I saw you posted a picture about Queen of something that you were listening to, Sheer Heart Attack. Great song. Now, here's my question for you. Have you ever maybe done something in practice that was like somebody else's material, like a cover song, to warm up? And the reason I ask this is I'm always looking for another type of band that, like, what would this sound like if it was in the Stoner Doom category? And one of my favorite songs from Queen that I think would really work well is Dragon Attack off The Game. Or, yeah, The Blame. Because that bass line, I mean, it's fucking sick.
It's we've definitely talked about it. I can't remember what we were planning. We were going to do a couple of covers that were kind of a bit like not in the genre. I can't remember what it was. You remember we talked about it?
Yeah, we were going to do... wasn't there a Johnny Cash song that we were thinking of doing? And the Joy Division one. These are just ideas that we floated around. We've never actually done it. We've never played a cover.
Gotcha.
No, you kind of reminded us though.
Maybe we should.
We were definitely talking about it, and we started figuring it out, and then we kind of ended up off the back of that. We kind of ended up working on new stuff, as you do. But I guess with us, because we're obviously working on new stuff, and we've got like a new song that we do play live. The songs are so long. It's kind of like the time we finish the set, we played like 2 songs.
that especially, I mean, if you're on an opening spot, and we'll get into the length of these songs. But yeah, you could say, all right, it reminds me of like classic when I was listening the first time I saw Earthless live, and they said that they had one more song, and I'm like, oh wow, that was kind of a short set, and then I didn't know that the last song was going to be like 40 minutes. So
yeah.
All right, so in looking again on something on social, now you have this magazine. I'm curious about it. It's called Pints of View, and it says it's for the discerning drinker. So what is this? This is just review of different places to go eat and drink?
Yeah, it was we played in a small town outside of London, and I think it was their kind of local area magazine about pubs.
Okay.
And about pubs to visit, because it's very traditional pubs, like traditional British pubs. So, ales, and it was about ales and bitters and stuff like that.
Right.
It was quite funny. We laughed because of the name. Sorry, mate.
What were you saying, Chris?
Yeah, we found that in the bar in one of the venues that we played.
I got you. Now, okay, so over here, the kind of go-to beer that's not very expensive, but a lot of people, they get their drink tickets with this. It's Pabst Blue Ribbon, or PBR. What would be close to that kind of beer over in England?
That's a tough one. I quite like Blue Ribbon because you can get it here.
Oh, you can?
As well.
All right.
Yeah, you can get it here.
I'm so sorry. I mean, good.
No, don't apologize. No, it's like the kind of in terms of like if it's your kind of just the standard kind of beer. A lot of people here drink Carlsberg, which is not the nicest. But it's like they're the go. A lot of people will drink that. But we've got a very good beer scene.
They tend to sell a lot. Stella. Stella's another one.
Stella.
Stella's always good.
But it's got different associated. The associations with Stella are probably slightly different. So it's all very you can
It's got
kind of
a
tell.
nickname. It's got the nickname of wife beater. It tends to be drunk by people who go home and beat their wives.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no
not
shit.
It's not there.
No, so it's called wife beer. It's called wife beer here. So basically, it's like it's a very, I don't, not stereotyping anyone, but it's got like this laddish geezers will drink it, and they're like vest tops with the big beer guts and drink it, and then go home and like, have an argument with their missus or whatever.
Wow.
But that's just like what whether that's true or not but it's just
it's got a
kind of
bad
spoiled. Yeah,
And over here, it's like people like, oh, this is distinction. This is class.
Yeah. Here it's the opposite. It's not like so you get, and then you've got Carling, which is my least favorite beer in the world. And it's kind of the younger kids will drink Carling thinking it's like the business, and it's just like terrible beer. And it's one of those that used to, when I was younger, it used to be the sponsor of all their rock festivals and stuff. So you go there and all they'd serve was Carling or Tuborg, I guess.
That's nice. I like.
I haven't heard Tuborg in a long time. Wow.
Yeah, I think the three of us especially, we're big into drinking beer. And so we're always kind of sending each other pictures or chatting about what beers we drink. And so I know that Chris and Mark brew a lot of their own beer.
We do the same thing here. I'm not brewing, but you guys, what are you guys brewing?
I just bottled an American IPA last night.
Right.
I just did like a 10-litre batch of American IPA. I've got a stout that's conditioning at the moment.
Oh, nice.
An oatmeal stout. I set a cerveza, which I hopped with a few different hops.
Right.
Again last night. So yeah, I got a few different things. I like just do small batches of stuff just to try it out and see how it turns out. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm particularly good or knowledgeable about brewing. Just kind of read a few recipes and bung stuff in a fermenter and see what happens.
You're trying it out. It's like anything else, You just running up the flagpole, see what you can make out of it.
Yeah.
Now, so do you think that you'll ever do a little more to where it's like a micro thing, or maybe get something into a bar?
I think I like drinking what I make a bit too much. Selling it to somebody else isn't going to happen.
That's awesome.
All about personal use.
I got you.
It's cheaper as well.
There was this there's a place that I'm guessing that you're playing at, Blondie's, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so whose idea was it to do the corpse paint?
That was the DJ.
Yeah, so we did a DJ set. With the guy from Halloween. Yeah, it was Halloween.
Halloween.
Someone from Angel Witch was DJing as well, and we did a DJ slot before. So there was a makeup artist there, so we got to do corpse paint on us.
Very nice.
It was cool. We had lots of fun.
Now, when you say a DJ set, what kind of music are you playing?
It was all rock and metal and just stuff that we would like. But being Halloween, we kind of tried to keep it to a slightly spooky feel, which I guess naturally kind of rock stuff lends itself. And Blondie's is pretty much a rock and metal bar, so we couldn't stray too far from that.
I got you.
I guess it's like a dive bar, the same kind of vibe as that,
Right.
You just it kind of a bit. Like it's gritty and a bit, it's cool. You go there and it's super cool and super tiny, and it's Hey, we've got those places here, and they're awesome, man. You just they're cornerstones of the community. Now,
absolutely.
Here's the thing. So I have I have this paragraph. I'm going to try to read this to you. Please let me know how I did at the end of this. I'm going to try. I'm trying to have like what I would call good bants. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. Correct. That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Good bounce, mate.
And if someone's a bit lurgy, you just stay away from them right now because we're in a pandemic here. Okay. So here's what I was writing, and I'm trying to speak like I would be over in London. So if I fuck up, I apologize. Okay, so in America, I mean, in the United States, Arizona specifically, I am so happy to see that we have more bog rolls in our stores again. Now, I know that last sentence was a bit of codswallop. So, I mean, I feel like I'm being a little daft right now. So let me change. I just want to talk about the album, and I have to say I was rather chuffed to hear your latest release was on vinyl. Now, when I first heard the tunes, I have to admit I was fully gobsmacked. You've got such long songs, songs that were so long, I feel like I had to take a kip. Now, it's been yonks since we said we would do an interview, so again, I am so glad to have you guys here. Was it close?
Man, you nailed it.
I guess the only thing at the beginning is lurgy instead of lurgy. I think that was it. Yeah. So lurgy means you've got the lurgies, get away. So you're got a bit of a cold or something. Everything was spot on. I got to put some of these words into my vocabulary because it's I feel like it's another. It is another language technically, but I mean, I just love it. And one of the things that it reminded me of was years ago. There's two bands that I would listen to, and every once in a while, or of being of this subject, one was a band called the Dogs D'Amour. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, and then the other was the London Choir Boys. And when I would hear I think he was saying a sweet little bim. I'm not sure. I think it's BIM. I don't know. But then I would hear on the Dogs D'Amour, they would say something like he's really skint. Yeah. And I was like, that's cool. Something different, something new, So is there any phrases or something from the States that you're kind of like, what is that? What is that about? I don't know.
Stumped us on that one.
That's okay. No worries.
Sometimes I'll hear a phrase. The trouble is I can't think of it now. There's definitely one I've got in my mind. I don't always think about, but it's always there after. You know what? I can't remember.
If Ollie, if you think about it, we'll get back to it. So how did all of you actually get together?
Do you want me to take this one?
Chris. Yeah, you do it, Chris.
Give it me.
Originally, the band, I started the band way back in sort of late 2017 with a couple of family members. So, I played with my uncle and my cousin. So, my cousin played drums, my uncle played bass for us.
Right.
And I mean, they were coming at it we were coming at it as just it was my songs. I needed someone to help me out put them together. But they other circumstances came along, and those guys couldn't carry on with the band anymore. So I put a message out on a local, I suppose you call it like a musician. Mark was the first one to answer the call. Needed a new drummer. Mark came along, and then we started jamming together, and it worked really well. And then we obviously needed a bass player as well. Tried out a few different guys, and then luckily Ollie answered us and came along and fitted in pretty well. Apart from the first time when he didn't turn up.
Well, I think a part of Ollie's charm is when he did the original tryout, he was probably wearing those wonderful pairs of shorts, though.
Yeah.
From what I remember,
I had some really shonky bass gear as well. It was not, I've got all my equipment now is on point, but it was really not very good. Which is quite fun to think about it now. It's turning up with this terrible bass rig. I think I had a 250 watt bass head, and it was just we were playing. Those guys were playing so loud that it would just the little head, the bass head, just wouldn't keep up with it.
Right.
And then so it was not the best, but it worked out all right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You think it? I think it did.
Yeah. It just was quite funny because I had all like this kind of really like cheap bass. It worked. Not that it's important that you have. You get the tools that you need, and the ones I had at the time weren't cut up for it.
Absolutely, of the genre, there's a lot to be said about just getting the right tone. It's not about playing a million miles an hour. It's about playing the riff or playing the note and having it hit proper. And I think that's very important. And it takes time. I mean, what you can't have gear overnight. It takes a bit of money, I would say.
Yeah, and also I guess it's not. I think me and Chris have always, and Mark talked about it quite a few times. It's not about having 40 orange heads and 20. It would be lovely to have all of that.
It would be very lovely.
Just do 100%. There's nothing wrong with that, but you just kind of get what you can. I'm not made of money, so we kind of we end up getting we all buy gear, but it's bits and bobs here, and then we'll add something, and maybe it doesn't sound as good as we thought it would. But yeah, because I've gone for a few heads that haven't got the right tone, it hasn't been suitable,
right?
But yeah, you just do what you can.
Exactly. Now, so somebody is going to go over to the UK, and they're going to be touring in your area and surrounding areas. What are some of the places that you think this type of music would be suitable? Like, where do you think people should play?
The Black Heart in Camden. That's a good venue. Yeah. Decent sort of metal pub, upstairs room with good sound. Small, be intimate.
Yeah. The Dev as well.
The Dev, yeah. These are all in Camden in London.
Okay.
Part of London. There's the Unicorn as well. These are all sort of metal bars that, it wouldn't just be doom stoner that they play, but different nights of the week they'll have different sort of subgenres of metal.
Sure.
They're good places to start.
Absolutely.
Outside of London, I guess there's lots of cool venues in the smaller towns, but some of the cities have some pretty good venues. Like Sheffield, when we went up there to that Doom versus Stoner, they've got a couple of nice venues.
Right. Do you have anything listed? I'm sorry, Chris, I'm stepping on you. Go ahead.
We've heard some really good things about places in Bradford as well, up in the north. Our mates in War have got a few venues that they use up there. And so that we're quite looking forward to getting up there at some point and playing too.
Is there a list on the London Doom Collective that could show the different places to play?
There certainly could be. It's quite a sensible idea.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I think the scene over here, though, sort of makes it a bit more. It's a bit more difficult to have a venue that would be dedicated to this style of music. So what you tend to find is there'll be promoters that will put on nights across different venues.
Right.
So, it might be one night this promoter will put on a great stoner doom thing, but then the next night that same venue might have something completely different on it. And so it's about finding the promoters and the events organizers that are putting on the good stuff. That would be I think that's the thing that would be good for us to really focus on. To find a dedicated venue is quite tricky.
It is. Like, okay, so over where you are, do you feel that the music is gaining in popularity? Do you figure like you're seeing new faces when we have shows, new faces? You seeing a lot of people different?
Yeah. I think for us, as a band, we've definitely noticed. And I think most bands experience it. If you kind of are playing the right riffs that people want to hear, you see new people at shows. In London, there is a lot of the same faces for sure, especially in the kind of doom stoner scene, because we all kind of tend to know each other. So everyone will go out to each other's shows.
Sure. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait, Ollie, let me get this straight. You mean to tell me that other bands that maybe weren't playing that night show up?
Yeah, it happens.
Holy shit, what a novel idea.
So I think the three of us, and the part of the London Doom Collective was that we kind of support each other. So, there might be a show. It's not just about Old Horn Tooth playing gigs all the time, because, we don't have time all the time to play show. We'd love as much as we would love to.
Right.
But it's just supporting the scene. So that's the only way the scene's going to get better, is by supporting it and showing up to your mate's band, or whatever. So actually you do get, especially in our little sub scene within the scene, we all go and support each other's bands.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for saying that, because every once in a while I look around and I'm like, support is imperative. You need that, and if we don't get it, the scene doesn't grow. There's
obviously. Sorry, I'm talking loads. Sorry.
It's okay.
There's obviously like a lot of closed. Oh, what's the word? Clicky groups within the scene. So if you're not a friend with person A, then you won't be playing any shows within certain areas of certain promoters or whatever.
Right.
And that's kind of because I guess as a promoter, you have to, if that's your job, you have to make money, you have to make sure you can pay people. So you want to pick bands that draw a bill. But also there's not going to be any bands for people to come and draw a bill with if no one knows any of the smaller bands,
Right.
So that's how I look at it. And I think that's one of the reasons we did the London Doom Collective, is so that, we're not trying to take over the world, but we want to give every band an opportunity to play. And I think the end game is to be able to get bigger bands as well. So it's just, it's kind of that circle, isn't it? So
it's all over time. It does take a lot of time. Now, when you were talking about, some other bands or maybe even somebody coming over to tour over there, are there any bands that you're looking forward to having come over to play live? Is there anybody that you want to see?
Loads of bands.
The Moonstone come over. Moonstone from Poland. They would be wicked to have over here. A great band. Just released their debut album. That's really end of last year, I think it might have been. They're a really, really good band. It would be cool to go and see those guys.
There's lots of bands that I always bands like for me. I love doom. I also like a lot of grindcore and like black metal and stuff. And I always want to see Nails, and I always miss them because they always play really small shows, and it always sells out.
Right.
So bands like that, the thing with London is you'll get a band come over from the States or somewhere, and it sells out very quickly because maybe they haven't played here for a long time.
Exactly.
Power Trip for me, is another band that I'm a big fan of.
Cracking band.
So I know it's not really doom or anything.
No, this is it could be all encompassing, just whatever you like.
And then obviously Monolord as well. I'm a big fan of Monolord, and we were at a festival together, all of us, where they were headlining, but I had to go to work the next day, so me and Mark left early, and then Chris saw them.
I'm going to tell you it was a really, really rubbish show, so you don't get jealous.
Yeah, I bet it was terrible.
That's awesome. Now,
that's for me anyway.
So, as far as current bands, or maybe even something going in the past, like we were talking about Queen, what is some music that you're listening to or turned on to right now?
I've just been getting a new Koriki, the new Ian Mckay Band.
Right.
It's him and his wife and Joe Lally that were in Fugazi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of digging that at the moment. Not even in the metal scene. But
I haven't heard it yet. What's the what genre?
So I guess it sort of picks up a little bit where Fugazi left off.
Right.
But it's a 3-piece. So You've got the Joe Lally kind of dubby bass. You've got Ian McKay's sort of shouty vocals. It's definitely got a Fugazi feel, but perhaps a little stripped down because they're a 3-piece.
I got you.
No guy there.
And Chris, what are you listening to right now?
I started listening today to the new Lead Desert Blues album that came out yesterday. They're one of the guys, bands that we had on the Voices from the Void compilation.
Right.
Their album is called No Need, and that came out yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. I think they're only a 2-piece, but they make so much noise, like dirty, sludgy, bluesy noise, and they're really good.
I apologize, Chris. You cut off when you said the name of the band, I think. What was the name of it?
Lead Desert Blues.
Okay, I got you. All right, thank you. I'm just looking right now on Bandcamp to see where it is. I don't know. It's still early for me. I'm trying. All right, so, all right, Ali, I don't know if he's coming back. Oh, there he is. Oh, well,
hey, sorry.
Oh,
I don't know where I went then. Am I back?
You're back. You can.
Hey.
Hey, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
All right.
Sorry.
So thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. I have a few quick places that just kind of a yes or no, and then finally, I would just like to talk about the release and see what's coming up next. Is that cool?
Yeah, 100%.
That's good.
All right. So I'm gonna name a place and just tell me if you have been to it yet, and if it is worth it when I go over there and visit. The first, the Dudley Crooked House Pub. Never been.
I've not been there.
Okay. I don't know. It looks like some kind of pub that's kind of like falling, like it's collapsing. Have any of you ever gone puffin spotting?
I haven't.
No.
It kind of doesn't even. It kind of sounds dirty a little bit, but it's just it's just fish.
It is a thing. It's definitely a thing there.
Okay, now we're getting into something that's a little more in the doomy category here. Have any of you been to the Crypt in Hythe, Kent?
No.
Fuck.
See,
How rubbish of us.
And I'm thinking about it because the Crypt, and not only that, some of the next ones, the Mental Health Museum. Have you been there?
No.
No.
I've been to the Hunterian Museum.
To go to.
And Ollie, what is that?
It's a Hunterian, so it's a medical museum, and it's got kind of I can't remember his real name, but he's got kind of bits of the Elephant Man. It's kind of medical oddities, I would say, in a museum.
Oh, I'd like to go see that.
So you should go. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty macabre, but it's interesting to see what people got up to back in the day.
See, and I see that type of place, or the Mental Health Museum, or the Crypt, and I'm thinking like that would be a great photo opportunity. Now, something that's a little bit brighter. There's this place. I don't know if you've been there. God's Own Junkyard in Walt. Let's see, Walthamstow.
Walthamstow.
Okay.
That's pretty much where I live. Pretty much where I live. I could walk there in about 15 minutes.
Right.
So yes, I've been there. There's a couple of decent breweries just around the corner from there. You can go and get a nice pint from. Next to Wildcard.
Is it next to Mother's Ruin? The gin distillery. It's all the neon lights, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been there as well. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. Now, what? Oh gosh, which one do I want to handle? Okay, so have either of you been to the Singing Ringing Tree in Lancashire?
No.
Interesting spot. Okay, so that's another place I might have to check out. Okay, now I have to ask. I don't know. This must be a very important condiment or something. The Vimto statue.
No, I've had Vimto. I haven't been to the Vimto statue, though.
Okay, now what is that?
What is Vimto?
Yes, sir.
So it's kind of like a fruit-based drink. It's kind of like I can't remember what I don't know if you've got like you add water to it. So is it like a Kool-Aid? Maybe in America you'd call it like a Kool-Aid. You add like water to it. It's like a blackcurrant fruity drink.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought by the looks of it, the bottle, I thought it would be like a sauce or something.
It's almost like it's quite syrupy. Yeah, and you can get it in they do it in like sweet bars, like sweetie chew bars.
Interesting.
Like candy bars as well.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. And you know what? One more question, and we'll get into the tracks. What shows are you watching now on television? Because my wife and I are going through watching this show. I guess it's British based. It's called Sex Education. Really enjoying that and enjoying hearing the different ways that people communicate. What are you watching right now lately? How about we'll start with Mark?
Okay. Recent thing was What We Do in the Shadows. Just hilarious comedy about vampires that are just a little bit inept. 2 seasons of that are just hilarious.
Is it on Netflix?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it Netflix?
I think the film is.
Yeah, there was a film that came from New Zealand, I think.
Right.
Which is worth watching as well. And then they've made 2 series with different actors. Over here, we can watch it on BBC iPlayer. But whether that would be available in the States or not, I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know either. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but What We Do in the Shadows I think it's hilarious.
And Chris, what are you watching right now?
At the moment, I've just started watching a season of Penny Dreadful. So City of Angels, it's on Sky Atlantic.
Right.
Great. Based on the occult of the like Santa Muerte and things like that. So it should be pretty decent to watch. I like that.
Cool. And Ollie, what are you watching?
So I just finished watching The Sopranos.
All right.
So
there you go.
We managed to watch the whole thing since lockdown. And then Picard as well. I'm watching Picard.
Interesting. Now, I don't know how I escaped. Like I knew how The Sopranos ended, but I never knew any of the story. And when I got together with the person that became my wife, we kept talking about it, and she's like, "How could you never have seen it?" I said, "I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know anything about it." But we did that last year. I went through the whole thing. It does take some time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's a commitment, and there's maybe one season that's a bit slow, but I think it's excellent television.
It really
the ending is
is
fantastic. Yeah, I mean, take what you want from the ending, but I think it's spot on.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up television, especially, I've mentioned it before to different artists, but I wanted to ask and get your opinions because I've been a fan of British TV for a long time, just going way, way back. Like the first time I remember looking at a show, and then I saw at the end of it, it said it's based on a show called Man About the House. And I was like, what is that? And they played it over here. And there was another show after that, like a sequel called Robin's Nest. And then it just got me into going into all these different British shows. So it was like Blackadder and Upstairs, Downstairs, Are You Being Served, all that kind of stuff. And there's something about that humor that I was talking with somebody on another podcast. And I just like it. There's something quick and dry, and it's not. They're not trying for the laugh, but they are trying to get a laugh. It's just very understated, and there's something about that I really like. So, thank you for that.
That's all right. There's some lots of kind of classic TV shows, like the more modern ones. Sorry to kind of digress. I can't remember what it's called though. That's the problem. It's the one when they go. I think it's Friday night dinner. And they go around, these two kids go around to their parents' house every Friday night for dinner.
Right.
It's about like a Jewish family in the UK, and every Friday they go around for dinner. Definitely watch that, because if you like kind of British humour, it's very good.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
So I think that's on Netflix. that's a fun one to watch if you're kind of, it's a more modern take on stuff, but it's, yeah. And then Green Wing as well. It's very good.
Green Wing.
Yeah, Green Wing.
Yeah, Green Wing. Yeah.
All right.
And Spaced. Spaced is just on net. Yeah, you're writing it down.
I am writing it down.
Yeah, Space is just on Netflix. It's on the UK Netflix.
I got you.
It's the guy that did Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of his. He did a kind of a sitcom for a couple of seasons. What's up?
Sorry, Chris. Say that again.
It's really good.
It was Space with Simon Pegg's sort of big break in the UK in the comedy sort of circuit. It was for TV, so good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of good stuff, from the Ghost Grey Depths, the latest release, and you got it out on vinyl. Congratulations, double LP, purple, splatterish kind of, looks gorgeous. Let's start out with the first track. Now, She Is Risen. I mean, we're going into it, and I'm wondering. The first time I heard it, I was like, I wonder where this is going. If there's going to be an ambient kind of drone album, or like when does it hit? And around, I'd say like about the 4-minute mark, we get this payoff that is fucking huge. What can you tell me about the first track, She Is Risen?
Tell you what to say to you. It started out as just the actual track, like you say, from the 4-minute mark. That was kind of where it originally kicked off. It wasn't until these guys joined that it turned into the monster that it actually became. Really, like the ambience was something that came very much later in the songwriting process. So it wasn't until Mark and Ollie joined that that's where it actually went. So
I guess I was going to say, like, the whole build up. I remember the three of us.
I
think he remembers it.
Right on the.
I think he was about to make a very important point right before he got clipped there.
So I guess for me, I'm sorry, my dog is barking.
Okay.
I guess for me, like being in the band and that song, I think we all talked about. Hopefully, this is kind of what Mark was going to say. We talked about how when we go and watch bands and music that we listen to, there's bits where, like, I wish they'd continued the riff a bit longer, or I wish they'd like done something slightly, carried that riff needs to be like maybe one more bar or whatever.
Right.
And the way we've written that song is kind of, it has that kind of like the beefy momentum, and it kind of has that hypnotic value, which is what I like about it.
I mean, it sounds trademark Doom to me. I mean, I think it's a great thing to hear. And even in with Chris at about 5:40, you come in with that vocal, kind of like almost that far away type of vocal. That is just like, was that intentional to keep it back a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think from my point of view, the music's more, the actual track is more about the music than it was about the vocal.
Right.
I mean, for me, writing the song it really.
Oh, right. Everyone's.
Yeah, it was kind of giving it that kind of ethereal sort of. That's what we were going for in the first place. So.
Hey, Chris, just because I want to make sure I hear this, is there any way you could get closer into the mic? You kind of cut out a little bit in the mic a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think somebody was taking a piss.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, no, sorry, man. I wasn't taking a piss. I live on a boat. And then the water outlet for the sink comes outside, so it's going into the river. Sorry.
I'm sure that's the story. Yes.
What an excuse!
we'll go with that one. Okay. All right. So, Chris, can you just tell me a little bit about the vocal again? I apologize.
Oh yeah. So, what you were saying about it being in the background a little bit. Yeah, that was kind of deliberate, because for me, when I wrote the song, it was more about the impact of the music rather than the actual vocal. The vocal was there to what was being heard. So yeah, it was a deliberate idea to have it in the background a little bit more. So
fantastic. Now, let's see. So we go into the next track, "Follow the Demon," and I noticed this is like a running theme throughout the album, where one song just seamlessly flows into the next. "Follow the Demon" comes in a little bit quicker, around the 55 mark or so. We get this boom, this explosion of music. What can you tell me about "Follow the Demon"?
Go on, Chris. Mate. Chris, yeah. I mean, they we all kind of wrote them, but they're your babies.
I know. I think what you've got, the way that I actually wrote these songs is like I really wanted them to be more of a live, or give big impact when you're playing live. So I think the atmospheric parts, and then suddenly for it just to come smashing in front of you, that was kind of thing that I really wanted to get from these songs.
Right.
My favorite thing by far is literally just standing in front of a stage and having my face melted off by like these fat heavy riffs. So that was kind of what I was aiming for, and I'm just pleased that it really translated into the recorded sound as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
That's how it went. Follow the Demon was supposed to be a more sort of chilled out vibe. It had that more of a stonery feel to it, sort of long drawn out riffs.
Right.
So like, but bookends in between She Has Risen and an Old Horn Tooth, just like a journey from one to the other, if that makes sense.
So basically, like the second Matrix, it bridged the first Matrix and the third.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
One point.
And now I would assume that you guys are going to be working on the Matrix Part 4 coming up. I'm hoping. So let's go into Old Horntooth. We get, this at about a little after a minute, everything kicks in, and then we get this one part that really caught me. It was really kind of towards the end, about 9:30 mark or so, where you got some really tasty percussion and some really crazy pedal work. What can you tell me about Old Horntooth?
I mean, for that track, dude, I knew that it was a full-on bludgeon from beginning to end. It just to finish it off by taking somewhere else,
right?
If that makes like you're just fucking trudging and plodding along, and then all of a sudden you just like you get that different, and that for us playing that one live, like it's an incredible feeling, because you get into that hypnotic riff, and then all of a sudden it's just like, nah, that's it, done, bang. Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like I said, like the whole thing was built and meant to be played live, so that's kind of where I aimed it in the first place. So.
Well, it's a mission accomplished. And what can you tell me about Grief? Because Grief takes a different turn, different than the other three tracks. And is Grief something that you play live?
Well, no, not really. Grief was a studio track. So,
so I guess. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Carry on.
No. So yeah, no, I was just going to say that we'd love to play it live. The problem is, I guess, as we're kind of relatively new in the grand scheme of things, when you're opening band or second band on, there's not really a lot of time to plumb in everything. So we've tried it. When we first started playing live, we used to have the Grief case a lot, and we'd love to have the track live. it's a Marmite kind of song, isn't it, Chris? Whereas lots of we put it on there. So Chris was saying, and I interrupted, sorry, that it was like we made all this noise when we were recording, and we decided to just make a track out of it because we thought it's a great way to end the record,
right?
And anything. So from beginning to end, it was a journey, and we wanted it to be that where you start off in Riz and you follow it all the way through. But in Old Hornsey, it didn't feel completely finished. So it was kind of like where take them up to a massive high at the end of Old Haunted, and then you need to bring them back down again just to like finish everything off. And I think that was where that was born from.
That sounds awesome. Now, so that, I mean, like we were messing around before and saying these tracks are so long, but I do like the fact that you give it space, you give it time to develop. Now that you have this out and the album came out and now you're working on some new material, what are we going to expect from Old Horntooth in the future?
So I guess my take on it is that it's quite scary because obviously, like, we didn't really envision. We always wanted to play live, but we never envisioned like it being so popular.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And so we had no intention of it being like, we were just playing music because Chris had these great riffs and we just wanted to write songs and play live. And whatever we did, people really liked. And it's kind of quite a humbling, it's quite a humbling position to be in because we had no delusions of grandeur. We just wanted to play live, and people have been so kind, and all the support we've had, like from yourself and lots of kind of different people from around the world. So I think we're working on new stuff, and it's sounding great. But we've got this kind of I'm a bit nervous because obviously we've got to then make something. Because now we're on the radar, and people know what we're about and who we are, and so I'm a bit nervous because this material is great. It's 100% great. But I'm just worried that maybe it's I don't know. Maybe we're just really lucky. not being. The new material is really, really good, but I'm just I have this sense of nervousness about it and anxiety.
I honestly don't think. I mean, it's like you wouldn't be human if you didn't feel that. I mean, it's like it's uncharted waters. People are going it now. Ali, the music for this latest release was pretty much finished by the time you joined the band? Is that correct?
So I guess when I was listening to demos and stuff, there was different bass lines. So they'd recorded some demos and rehearsals with different stuff, and I kind of took inspiration from that because someone wrote that. Someone wrote the bass bit. So I've got some ideas.
Right.
Kind of, developed it from that. I think the best thing about Chris and Mark is they'll tell you if it's not very good, but it's never a bad idea. So it's kind of all, we'd like to think that we're a band which there's never a wrong idea. We'll try it. If it doesn't work out, we leave it at the side and we move on. So it's been pretty good.
Now, Chris, you've that's okay. Now that you have Ollie, providing some other input, has it changed the musical direction?
Direction, but it's and quite a different way.
Chris, could you just come up to so I can hear you a little better?
Yeah, so it's not really made me think about a different direction, but the riffs become a little bit more melodic. So there's a little bit more solo work in this one as well. So yeah, I mean, it's not so much that it's changed, but it's evolved as it were. So
there you go, and that's the key. I think that's the key for any band is to evolve.
Yeah, I think we've developed because obviously we're better. We know each other now, so we're good mates. Not that we weren't at the beginning, but you have to feel out how people are, their reactions, what you can, wait. I think the new material is sounding. I'm so excited. I mean, we've played one of the. We've played a new track live quite a few times now. And I don't know, well, I'm sure Chris won't mind me saying it, but we recorded it anyway. So we've got this kind of track recorded, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful piece of music. And we're really trying to figure out a way of, can we release it? Like, if it's going to be on the next record, are we going to do it as a standalone single or whatever?
Right.
And I, we played it live, and you play it live, and people hear it, and it's got a great reaction. I think that it really comes down to what people, when they get some time with it. So I think we're trying to figure out a few things we might need to add to it for production wise and stuff. But we've got a new track recorded, and I think from Wednesday we're starting full rehearsals again. And Chris has just been sending over so many good riffs. And so we've got, how many tracks have we've got the tracks done, haven't we, pretty much, Chris?
Right. Currently at the moment we've got about just over an hour's worth of music that we need to really
How
work.
many tracks is that?
I think it works out to include 2. One that we've already got recorded, but I think that's 4 tracks. So you can expect long, heavy, drawn out tracks.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, the cover of Dragon Attack from Queen.
Of course, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely have a look into that one.
No, 100%. I mean, we definitely got someone that would love it if we did it.
I bet. So, okay, I just have a quick one other quick question, because Ali, you mentioned it briefly, but I saw it on Bandcamp and I wasn't quite sure. What is the Grief Case?
So I guess, because Mark's not here, so.
Hi, I managed. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
Sorry, my internet crapped out, so I'm on my phone. But yeah.
Perfect.
Now, Ali, would it be a better question to ask Mark?
100%.
Okay, Mark, glad to have you back. And so I was asking them, what is the Grief Case?
So, yes, firstly, sorry, I cut out. Sorry, techie problems. But
it's okay.
So the Grief Case, when we were initially writing the songs, we kind of wanted something extra, something different in the band, something that kind of is a bit unusual in a doom sort of setting. And I quite like a lot of improv noise stuff as well. And I see a lot of people that will just have flight cases with just pedals and making noise and ambient stuff. And we decided to incorporate stuff like that. So I got a bunch of guitar pedals, contact mics together, and then I thought I need something to put this in so that while I'm playing drums, I can still do a bit of noise stuff alongside it.
Right.
And so I built this. The inspiration came from thinking about old school desks that we used to have over here, where you had a flip top lid that you could put stuff in, and you put it down and you do your writing on top. And I thought,
remember those.
Wouldn't it be great if you had? Yeah, wouldn't it be great if you just had a case where you can just take the lid off and you've just got all these pedals already set up that you can just go ahead and plug a couple of mics in, a couple of leads in, and off you go. And so that's pretty much what it is. It's a carry around box that I can take the lid off, flip a couple of legs down, and make a racket.
Nice.
I kind of think where we came up with the name for it. I can't remember. I think it went through a few different things where it was going to be called Doom Box or something.
No, you know what? Briefcase, Grief Case. I think it's perfect, man. So,
it's super fun.
So, guys, I just want to say thank you very much. You know what? I apologize in advance if we had some technical glitches and stuff, but I think we worked it out, and the basic idea for the material, that's what we want to get across. Now, before I let you guys go, do you have a question that I can ask the next band or artist?
Okay. I thought of one a little bit.
Okay.
But Chris and Mark might have one as well. I guess that's the thing. So,
Go, Ollie, go.
Oh, so mine was going to be, as a band, like, how have you, like, got, I mean, it's going to be COVID related, I'm sorry. Okay. Kind of, how have you developed during lockdown? I mean, like, what, have you tried to achieve anything? Have you, been able to do stuff? What do you want to do? Have you taken anything away from it? Because we've definitely noticed things that we've come together a bit more as a band, I think. So we've tried to be active, and it's difficult when you can't do anything. So how have bands been maintained activity during lockdown, I guess, for me?
Great question.
That would be a question. Because obviously we worked on the Voices from the Void as a collective.
Right.
And that was, so, as all the bands, we've all kind of released something during lockdown, which has been great. And we've tried to remain steady. So it'd be nice to know what bands have been doing to maintain sanity.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a weird time. Now, Chris, do you have a question?
I think that's pretty much the way that I would have gone with it.
Right.
Find out what other bands have been up to, and obviously we've tried to keep as active as possible by doing different projects and things like that. So, yeah, it's definitely nice to find out what those guys would have been up to. Yeah, cool.
Absolutely. And Mark, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Did you have a question, sir?
Can't really. Oh, if they weren't doing bands, what would they do?
Nice.
What would be what would they fill their time with?
All right, that's good. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really look forward to seeing some new material somewhere down the line. But more importantly, I look for getting everything that's going on, getting it over with, so that I can finally get a trip over there and just have a beverage with you gentlemen. Some spiced rum.
Totally.
Maybe some Carlsberg. I don't know.
No, you won't be.
No, you know what? Here's the thing.
You won't be drinking that with us.
If I'm heading over there, Mark, I'm requesting a stout. I'm like straight up right now. I'm requesting.
I'm saving one for you. There's one with your name on it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I know you guys got to go because we ran over a bit.
Don't worry.
Thanks a bunch, and we'll talk soon. All right.
100%.
Yeah,
Lovely.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for the support. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I really hope to get over there one day and see you guys in action. And yes, I'm doing it right now. I'm requesting a show from the London Doom Collective. I want to see some heavy doom when I go over there to visit. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your time. And if you listened to the whole interview, you heard it was a big time difference, obviously. So grab a cup of coffee and I got to it. Sometimes you just got to get it done. All right, that's it for now. Got another episode coming up really quick. So hang tight. It'll be out real soon. And until that time, next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay safe, and above all, don't forget to stay heavy.